right. Hey, you guys, thanks for joining us today. Welcome to the Spice Age. I am joined by my co-host from Mammoth, California, Chef Matt Toomey. Chef, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. The weather is perfect. We've had some thunderstorms up in the mountains outside Yosemite National Park right behind me. And
Yep.
yeah, it's getting late summer. The Costco's are getting the Christmas trees out. We're getting ready.
Well, the pumpkin spice lattes are out in full force here in Ohio, so we definitely are feeling the season change here. Back to school and football is in the air here. So,
That's it.
is that sounds like you've got a jet there in the background going through the sky? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, probably a military jet flying over, but no. Other than that, you got
That's
the sound of a river behind me.
yeah.
We got a nice. I got a nice creek flowing through my yard, and life is wonderful.
Well, that's awesome. Well, as you know, and you've introduced him to us, we are going to be joined here in just a couple of seconds by the legendary Major League Baseball pitcher, Mr. David Wells. And we'll get to talk to him here, but you met David when you guys were kids, right?
Yeah, I mean, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We have, the mutual friends. I would say after his career ended, we've spent a lot more time together. But growing up in high school, I never had to face him. I was always a couple years behind. So I never had to get in the batter's box with him pitching because that would be scary. So no, but all I could say is, we've met a lot of people. As you get older, you have a lot of friends, people He's one of the most down to earth, honest people that really cares about young kids, and just a good guy. Just one of the best human beings you'll ever meet.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to talking to him. We are going to take a quick break. We are going to hear from our sponsor, Toomey's Seasoning, which I think you've heard of. I've got a couple words from them, and when we come back, we are going to be joined by David Wells. We'll see you just in just a second.
Toomey's Seasoning is a special blend of spices created by Chef Matt Toomey. It's a blend of kosher salt, garlic, pink peppercorn, and crushed black pepper, and it is delicious. It's a great addition to any meal, as well as a great addition to any care package for someone heading back to school. I know I always request it in my care packages. If you're looking to send a care package to a student in your life, head over to toomeyseasoning.com.
Visit toomeyseasoning.com. Sprinkle the deliciousness today.
Hey, everybody, thank you for joining us. We are back here. I am joined with my co-host, Mr. Matt Toomey out there in Mammoth, California. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. A little rainy weather last couple days. Had some flash floods and kind of cooled things off here during our heat wave. So things are looking green, and yeah, couldn't be happier.
That's awesome. And right beside you today, guys, we are so excited to welcome Mr. David Wells. David, how are you today?
I'm doing good, but I'm wondering behind Matt, is that a pot farm right there? He's got a lot is he poaching somebody's land over there?
Actually, no, no, what are you talking about? Although I am kind of hungry right now. I got the munchies, so I got my coffee. I'm going to go make a cheeseburger in a second.
Nice. Do the Toomey flapjacks.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're making that
pancakes.
cheeseburger, you're going to use Toomey's, right? Toomey's seasoning on that burger?
That's all we know how to use. Yeah. All our food tastes the same. It all tastes good.
Simple, man. Simple and easy, right? We don't want to spend a lot of time.
That's it.
So, well, David, thanks for joining us. This is a podcast we started about a month and a half ago called The Spice Age. Toomey and I get on here, and we've been chatting with some really fun guests. We've been talking to each other, getting to know each other, and learning a little bit about backgrounds. And one of the great things is we get to chat with some of you guys who have met Toomey and been involved in his life over the years, and part of his story. And when you sit down and talk with Toomey, he'll tell you all these stories, right? I mean, you know that, and I've heard about you, and I've heard about all these guys we've gotten to meet, and this is cool to sit here and talk with you today. But I'd really just like to know, and you guys can jump in here. How'd you guys first meet?
Shoot, back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the 70s, growing up in OB in Point Loma. I grew up in OB. Matt was I think he was over in the rich area. We were in the poor area.
No.
But
I was one level
but no,
down.
just from being down there surfing, just running the streets of OB, and a lot of mutual friends, parties, all that kind of stuff. So, it all just began back in the 70s and rolling to the 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, how about I mean, what you got any dirt on Toomey here? I mean, I know the good side. What do you, I mean, you had to be involved in some crazy stuff, right?
Not not really, because I left. I went and pursued a career, and everybody else was still getting in trouble. The only
Yeah.
time I'd get in trouble was when I came home. And yeah, not it was fairly a good friendship. Yo, what's happening? And first and foremost, I got to ask you, where are you from?
I'm up in Columbus, Ohio right now.
Okay. There's a little inside joke is when you
That's
walk into
inside.
Matt's restaurant. Hey, how you doing? Where are you from?
No,
It's like, oh my God. That's about the
Nonstop.
worst dirt I got on.
No,
that's good.
no, and hey,
That's
to
good.
be
So-
honest, David and I, you always have a special bond with people from your childhood. And I'll say one thing about Dave and I: when we talk, all we talk about are the good old days, the fun times, the hot girls that we all were in love with, and just things that you can, we grow up, we, luckily, successful enough to have your own home and have a nice life. But there's nothing like your childhood. And what resonates with Dave and I both is old skateboards, old wacky packs, lunch pails, and just the things
Yeah.
to me that really matter. And Dave, like he said, he left when he finished his career. We started fishing together up here. We do a little fly fishing with some friends, and we'd reconnect in Florida or anywhere we can. But it always gets redirected back to our childhood. Nothing about what house are you buying or car you're driving. It's always the simple things in life and that's the thing I always loved about Dave is all that other stuff. You can have it, but for him, well, I shouldn't say all, but he really loves all those fun things, and his memory from the childhood's incredible. And the last thing that I will say, every time I talk about David, people go, yeah, his baseball career is phenomenal, and very few people can say they've done what he's done. Like 10 other people can say what they've done, but he is so wonderful with little kids. I always say he's nice to adults. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you have a bunch of little kids around. Dave will stop everything and be so good to kids, no matter what. I don't care what's going on. He'll stop, and I'll see him go over there and take time to make those kids feel special. And he's so funny with them. It's great. And that's why we're friends. It's not about what he has, it's who he is. And he's like I was talking about him with Eric Burns, one of the most amazing human beings I've been around. I've seen what he's done, and it's no one else can touch him.
Wow. Am
Yeah.
I on the screen? I don't know if my head's fitting on this.
No,
screen
you're
right now.
yeah, no. Hey, I'm just telling you, I think that nails it for us because again, I have friends from the past, and they'll talk about what's going on now, and I'd rather just talk about the old motorcycles. Dave, you've been over to the house with the old mini bikes, and
Yeah.
you go in my closet. It's just it's like a museum of our childhood, and that means a lot.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So you guys grew up together,
Speaking of
obviously, and you spent a lot of time. You guys played. I mean, you had to play some baseball together, right?
Nah, he was 2 years older than or maybe a year. I never luckily had to face him. Um, I played. I think I was 2 years back from Dave, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So
He
not even
was.
just okay.
We never played against each other. I mean,
No.
we never played like in like All Stars and stuff like that. He was
Yeah.
never on our team.
Right.
Not even hitting it around the backyard. Not even just knocking it around with the neighborhood boys.
No.
At
No.
the OB Rec Center, fun
Yeah.
around there, play some stick ball,
Yeah.
do all that.
Basketball.
Play a lot of
Yep.
street hockey, basketball. We played all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I know. Well, you were just talking about. So I love it when Toomey gets into the backstory. We did that with it last week too. But you were talking about how David's working with kids and giving back to time, and I think that's wonderful. My son is just turned 12 today. Actually, this is his birthday, and he's heavy into baseball right now. It's just he's well, baseball and football, but he spent 3 weeks this summer down at Ohio State. The head coach of Ohio State, and those guys put on a clinic for 11 and 12-year-olds. And I went out there. I actually took time off work because I was so impressed with the Ohio State coaches. You know, I know you're paying for it, and that's great, but you know they could have just sent the kids out there and did that. But they've got the actual coaching staff out there working with those kids, working with, you know, teaching them how to slide, teaching them how to catch a grounder the right way, teaching them how to bat correctly, and just really laying hands on them and spending time showing these kids how to do it rather than farming it out with athletes. I was just impressed with that. That to me, because I'm a dad, because I've got 4 kids, and because I want, you know, those kids to get connected with it. That kind of stuff with me just resonates. So I really appreciate that.
No, it's good. It's nice to see kids get proper, you know, training, proper direction, you know, in the game. I mean, when I played, I was fortunate enough to have some good coaches when I was in Little League, Pony League, Colt League as well. And, you know, for that, to recognize kids were, you know, you try not to be the lupus, you know, in right field. You didn't want the bad news bears. You didn't want to be that kid, but, you know, that's why we always went out and we practiced. So as you get older, you know, when I retired, I went back to Point Loma High, took over the coaching job there, and you know, it was great, and taught them the life lessons that I learned, you know, from Little League all the way up to the major leagues, and just try to, you know, implement that into their lives. So when you get an opportunity to work with kids and teach them the proper way to catch, throw, you know, keep your head down, do all that, make, you know, but my biggest thing is, you know, if a kid's really good, he stands out, make make everybody else better. You know, you already know what you could do. Go help those kids that need that help instead of trying to be the superstar, because you're already there. But you know, you go out there and you make everybody else around you better. It makes it just a better area, you know, and it makes the kids feel good. But you know, parents will see that, coaches will see that, you know, and it all resonates, and you know, that's how it becomes contagious, and that's what you want. You don't want these coaches out there throwing stuff at you. You know, for me, I was kind of a, you know, a pest, pain in the ass, because I knew I was good. I did that, but if I didn't want to go to practice, I wanted to go surf or I wanted to go play basketball, I'd do something stupid, and they tell me to get out of practice. I'm like, good, see you later. But I knew deep down that they couldn't do anything because I had the upper hand, because they needed me pretty much, you know, especially as a pitcher. If I had to pitch and all that, they needed me more than I needed them. But, you know, that's kind of the way I looked at it then. But now it was a stupid thing to do. And instead of going out there and, you know, being a team player. And that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool you say that, because my son's playing in this little league here, and it's the Olentangy. It's not little league. You're going into 7th and 8th grade, but they've got these kids on the team that one kid's just an amazing pitcher. I'm telling you, he could be pitching at the high school level, and he's in 7th grade. But he's so good. But the coach is not constantly playing him. He's got the other kids out there pitching, and that kid working with them, you know, giving his knowledge back. I just love to see that, because there's travel leagues where there may be, you know, whoever's on the team that's amazing, but those are the kids that only play. And the other kids that are out there, yeah, they're good, they're support, but they're just not getting these opportunities. And I love to hear that. I think I wanted that for him, because he's a pretty decent ball player, but there's things he needs to learn. And, you know, if you're out there and you got kids that are better than you, some of those leagues just don't let you get there. So I think it's awesome.
Well, some coaches out there are like that, and that's a shame. But you know, they're going to play their kid over your kid. If you know your kid's better, they're going to, you just see that, and it sucks. It really does. But you know, that's the way some people are, and you find other areas and you find better coaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, even our coach, even his son is on the team, and he's a fantastic first baseman. He's tall, he's fast. I mean, he can get the ball over to third just almost better than anybody else. But he will sit his son just so everybody else gets to play. So it's good to see. I like that.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know there's good guys out there.
You know, and I have to ask you guys, because you're both baseball players, and I this is just something that's come up. So my son and I went out 2 nights ago to a sporting goods store here in Columbus, and I won't say the name, but it's a pretty big one. I had no idea there were so many bats available to these kids and the technology behind this. And my son is standing next to this wall of bats. I mean, it's It's impressive. And he's talking about drop weights, and he's talking about the difference between the drop weight and the length of the bat, and the different alloys in the bat and what you can use. What happened to what changed in the bat technology from I remember when I played, we had all these hard aluminum bats, you could barely swing them.
Well, I remember when the Easton came out. It's funny because
Yep.
I'm wearing my Easton hat,
Yeah.
but when the green bat came out, the thing was unbelievable. I mean, guys were launching, and then they were using it in college. I think that guy Ledbetter, I forgot his first name.
Alan
He was a stud. What's that?
Alan Ledbetter from Point Loma.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no, no.
no, sorry.
He played college ball for D1, and I think he
Oh.
set the record for home runs in college. But these bats were just, but the ball was flying off the bat. So I think they became safety issues, back later on after, they saw guys getting hurt or whatever it may be. But, and seeing how far these balls are going. But to me, it's, when I got into coaching, they had the -3, -4s, whatever they had on the bat. I didn't really understand these, epoxy bats or whatever they are. And, to me, it's just for certain levels. I think they started doing it from little league to like pony league, colt league, college ball all the way up. And then, obviously it's all wooden bat and in the big leagues. But yeah, I never understood it as well. Didn't want to, didn't care. I was a pitcher. So, if the ball's not going to go as far, I liked it because you hang a fastball or a curveball, they won't go as far. So it's a good thing. But, yeah, you know what? My childhood compared to this childhood, there's no comparison. I mean, Matt and I, we ran wild, but we played sports. But we all were, we all practiced. We all did what we had to do to make the team. If you got cut, it sucked. You got ripped a little bit by your buddies, but it goes away quick. But then you're the one out there surfing the big waves, and they're at practice. So sometimes you can get them back at that way. So yeah, it was an epic surf session today. Oh, that's right. You were at practice. So, just, and some guys would quit baseball so they can go surf when the waves are big. So in San Diego, it was a different ball game, but, we didn't take everything seriously. We just played sport to sport and did what we did. And, the main agenda was going out and chasing chicks to see who can get the hottest chick. And, and that's what we did.
He ain't lying. Yeah. 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 I remember in Colt League, I think Butch Green, was on our team, and Joe Martin, God rest his soul. And yeah, a lot of those guys stopped playing, and David knows Butch, and he was one of our great players, and his excuse was he just wanted to surf. So I remember that and going, dude, we need you on our team. But it's like surfing was a very very popular thing that everybody did down there. And yeah, and when the surf was good, our PE coach in the morning knew everybody was out surfing in the morning, wouldn't go to school. Good times.
Yeah.
And half the time we ended up. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Half the time
I was going to say, Dave can remember this one. Speaking of our childhood, at I think once a quarter we had hour lunch, and you'd be at Rosarita Beach Hotel at 2 PM with half the Point Loma High School would go down there. No one would go back to school. We'd all go down there and just frickin' go bananas, before the cartel was a big deal. So
yeah, we raged. It was good.
That was a good time.
Put it this way: it was $10 for all the rice, beans, tortilla, and lobster you can eat.
Oh,
So,
man.
and then we were too young to drink back then, so
Yeah.
we were drinking bottled water.
Yeah.
But the surfing was epic, so that's what we went down there for was surf sessions and all that. So it was great.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah.
So David, you're coaching now. What's the average day look like down there in Florida for you?
You know what? I do whatever. I don't coach. I just hunt.
Okay.
I fish. Got into fly fishing. In fact, one of Matt's buddies, Maria, called him the 395 Bandit.
Yeah.
He gave us lessons. We were out there. Me and my buddies from San Diego came up, and he took us to this little park right down there in Mammoth, and started doing the casseroles and doing all this stuff. And we got into fly fishing. I'd rather fly fish than regular fish. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to me, when I get a chance to go fly fishing, I don't miss it. It's
Yeah.
great. I still
Yeah.
suck at it, but it's still awesome to do. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. When you're fishing in Mammoth, now I tell you, so fishing in Ohio, fly fishing, and I love to fly fish. I don't get to do it much. The rivers in Ohio aren't always the best because some of the Ohio rivers are pretty dark brown. But a lot of the fly fishing we do when they stock rivers, ODNR does it. It's just roll casting. We can't get the pole back behind our heads because the rivers aren't wide enough. So
Right.
when you guys are out there, are you fishing rivers big enough where you're just, really getting it up and casting out?
Some of them you can, but the other ones you just got to do a little roll cast and whatever. Or if you're in the water, you can go upstream, and then just mend it and keep
Yep.
coming and go down. And it's just depends on what areas that you're at. Mammoth's
Yeah.
got some places that you can let it go, or you gotta small little casts, and that's it. But I don't care if it's a fish this big or 30 inches long. It's fish on, and it's great, especially with a fly rod.
Oh yeah, it's just fun to be out
Yeah.
there too. It's peaceful
Oh yeah,
and it's relaxing.
100%.
Last time I have a picture at my at my office of Dave holding about a 7-pound brown, and he stuck out with I think it was a beadhead woolly bugger type thing, stripping line like a minnow, and man, brought this big old fish in last time we were up here, and that's
That was a
something
14-pound brown, by the way, Matt.
14 pound. Yeah, there.
Yes.
I don't tell the truth very often, so you caught me again.
I see that.
Most fishermen double the weight. I've never heard of fishermen that cut it in half.
Yeah, you know what?
No, I had that thing mounted, so it was great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
Biggest fish I ever caught in the freshwater.
yeah.
Yeah.
That thing was so big you could see all the serial numbers on the side of it, which was awesome. No. It's another inside joke. We'll talk about that
geez.
later.
Sponsored by Trojan.
Oh no, I got the joke. Trust me, that was good. We were gonna try to gloss by that, but anyways, there we go. So it's out there now.
Yeah.
So one of the things we like, I like to ask because we got Toomey on here, we've talked about this before. Is it's a Sunday afternoon, David. You're in the backyard. What are you grilling? What's your favorite thing to go to? What's your go-to?
That's funny. The other night I did some skirt steak because my son and his girlfriend, my wife met her for the first time, so they came over. I did some corn husk on the cob on the grill. Did skirt steak, but I'm wild game. I like everything: elk, venison, you name it. I'd rather put that. I've got a freezer full in the garage. My boys, we just got back from Africa, but you can't bring the meat back from Africa. So we just ate what we shot there, and then we fed probably I don't know how many villages for the next 8 months, because that's how much we shot over there and did that. So, but to me, there's nothing better than having wild game. So you put that on the grill, either on the smoker or you're cooking steaks on the grill. That's probably my favorite is wild game.
Yeah. This is a funny story, and I love to tell this story, but I'm going to ask you first, and Toomey, I want to know too. What's the first wild game you guys had? Like, you can remember.
What was your squirrel? Squirrel?
Toomey,
Or
what
rabbit?
is it? What is it for you, Toomey?
It was venison, probably in the early 80s. Where I grew up in Point Loma, all we knew was fish and chicken. That's all. I was raised on lasagna and chicken. And I moved up to Mammoth, and I remember the first time we had a chef cranking out some venison, and he explained to me the tenderloin, you can't eat it medium or higher. And so I was like, yeah, let's throw this down. And boy, it's like I describe it as like velvet. Just the texture, the tenderness, and the flavor of it. It's like nothing else. Kind of like it's comparable to elk or stag, as we went through that before, the New Zealand elk. And but no, venison was my first one, and living in the mountains like Dave, he's a big game hunter, world renowned. Up here, buffalo. We do it all. Buffalo, elk. I've tried it all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, venison was the first one, and from day one, I love it. I love it. It teaches you to eat meat correctly. You don't eat it. You don't cook it well done. Nothing. Medium
Yeah.
rare, baby, or rare. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yep.
David, mine was squirrel, and I love the fact you brought that up. So my grandfather was the one who introduced me to hunting. As a matter of fact, one of the second song that I released on my album is about my grandfather, and he and I used to go fishing together. But we were out first time I ever went squirrel hunting. I had his. It's a Winchester 22 long rifle bolt action peep sight. And the first squirrel I ever shot, he just say clean it. This, you learn the basics. If you're going to shoot it, you're going to eat it, you're going to clean it right. He takes it back to the house. All he does is clean that squirrel. He he rolls it in buttermilk, flour, and butter, and pan fries it, and that's it. And that's how we ate that squirrel.
It's kind of how you do frog legs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
frog
salt and
legs the
pepper.
same way.
That was it. I mean, nothing else.
Oh yeah,
So
I mean, to me, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? But we would go in the canyons there in San Diego, squirrels or rabbits, and we'd shoot them with pellet guns and do that. We didn't have the 22s. You're in the city, so you gotta downgrade. But they'll put a hurting on them.
Yeah.
Fill that bag up.
10
They
pu-
do all
hey,
that.
10 pumps, 10 pumps, and you'll kill anything.
Yeah, we were the
Yeah.
10 pump chumps back then.
I just got to stop.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. Well, we had.
we're
At
I
least
grew
you
up
got
in
10, though, right? At least you got 10.
Hey,
Well, I
Doing
grew
my
up in
best.
rural
With
Ohio,
two or
so
three pumps.
up in rural Ohio, we were shooting just about anything we wanted. And nobody cared, so we could make as much noise as we want. But I can respect the pellet guns, so that's good.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
yeah. Then we started getting into because I have a ranch in northern Michigan, Kurt Gibson and I, and so once we were up there, we got it all established, and you're sitting up in your tree stands, and you just got all these squirrels everywhere. So I got me a couple blowguns. You don't want to mess up your area.
Yep.
So there'll be a squirrel on another tree, and boom, and you make your darts about that long.
Mhm.
So you just you smoke one and you penetrate it, and he's stuck into the tree, so it doesn't really hurt your hunt. So we would do that, and then we'd make squirrel up there too. So whatever worked. You just blowguns. You're not screwing up your area, not making a lot of noise.
Right.
Occasional, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Wow. I got to try
Well, that's
that.
pretty impressive. Yeah, right. That sounds like a fun game. Next time you're in the tree stand bow hunting, that sounds like a blast, actually.
Dude, it is. I take the blowgun up there all the time. Just, if you're going to sit there for 5-6 hours, you might as well, entertain yourself.
That's it.
Well, yeah, and I think I remember sitting in the tree stand thinking, "Would you guys shut up? I can't hear anything. I'm just listening for because it's so quiet in the
Sure.
the woods, except for the squirrels chattering in the morning when the sun comes up."
Yeah.
So there you go.
And then you get your crows. The crows are a pain in the ass. So, whatever, just whatever goes, man.
I like that idea. Toomey, have you ever
Wild
hunted with a blowgun?
No, no, no. I don't even know what one is. That's why I was like, I need one for at the restaurant for some of the customers. Like, hey, that effer over there is being a pain in the ass, and I might
Shorten your
I might
dart
look
up a little bit.
Yeah, just take them out if they're in the restaurant being obnoxious. It's a good tool to have.
Oh yeah. Now, if you, I want to, we had the blowguns. I remember them. And actually, my son has one. It's like it's a dart about probably 4 inches long, and it's got a little plastic coat on the end.
Yeah.
It fits inside of a metal. It's an aluminum tube, and on
Yep.
those sometimes in the tubes they have a little holster for the darts that'll clip in.
We used to have the beads back in the day.
Okay.
So you get the beads as long as it fit perfectly through that little hole.
Yep.
Then you would just get you get a pair of pliers and put the metal over the stove, and and then just penetrate the bead, put it in there, and you were rocking and rolling.
That's
And you can
crazy.
shoot those son of a bitches far too.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
accuracy. Yeah.
Yeah, we shoot spiders in the basement with them.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you can pin one to a wall pretty easily, and they are accurate. Once you figure out where that site is, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they're
No
pretty
doubt.
cool. Toomey, you got to get one.
No, I got, you know what I still have is one of those old school pea shooters with, you buy the bag, it's got the target on it from the 70s. Then we're little kids, you'd have that at school with a straw, and you'd nail someone in the back of the head. And that's about as far as I got with blowgun or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
So,
Anyways.
so David, I got to ask you, because you've had a career in Major League Baseball, and you've coached kids. Because I always like to, because my son is obsessed with baseball players, and I love being able to give him good advice, especially when he's come off the field, he's had a bad game, or he's frustrated about something he did. What's your favorite piece of advice to give to young players who are just trying?
Don't be afraid to fail. That's the number one. Failure is your biggest asset. You go out there and do the same thing and you're getting your butt kicked every time, you have to change,
Mhm.
and to me, nobody likes failure, but it's a big asset to everybody in life, and to me, you don't want to do it, obviously, but it's there and there's a reason for it, but you just keep pushing. There's a lot of quitters out there. Kids want to quit because you can't get it right. They don't want to do it. But if you just have some perseverance and keep pushing, to me, that's just the best thing that you could do. Because then once you get it and you're starting to have fun with it, then you go, wow, okay, this is easy now. Well, there you go. You learn lesson learned that
Yep.
you don't quit. So you know what? That's best advice I can give them is
Yeah.
don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah. I think we just had this conversation last week, Timmy.
Yeah, yeah, and I like I use the gas station as a metaphor. When I started that restaurant inside a gas station, I said I got laughed at and screwed up, and just keep going. My son and he plays down at Long Beach. I always tell him every time, just, hey man, keep going, and keep. I tell my son this too. I said, you know what you could do? You could quit. You could come home, sit in your room and play video games, and just sit in your room all day. And he just laughs. He's all, sounds like a plan. I mean, he knows that, or just anybody that's been through it. Failure, man, you learn more from failing than you ever did succeeding. And if you succeeded all the time, you'd think everybody would do it, but no,
Yeah.
failure's the key to victory. And like someone kicks your ass, like what happened to us in the early days before everybody filmed everything in lawsuits. You got beat up, you did two things: you didn't mess with that guy anymore, or you went to the gym and worked out and said, in another year I'm gonna knock that guy out, and it made you stronger. So
Sure.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
just
so
go challenge the biggest guy and hopefully you get his respect and then you're friends.
Yeah.
You might take an ass whooping, but what the
yeah.
heck? But we all did it. We just went with the flow, and you made fun of people, but you make fun of them too much, you're gonna get a reaction out of them, and that's just growing up, being part of being a kid. But nowadays, you can't do that.
Nope.
I'm glad my kids are grown,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't let my kids quit. They would want to quit stuff, and I go, it ain't gonna happen. You're gonna ride it out. You're gonna do that because you're gonna feel better about yourself later on. And to me, it's nowadays, you got a 15th place ribbon, and it's not the way. Why? It's why I don't watch. It's why I don't watch sports anymore. I
Yeah.
watch golf, hockey, and Premier Soccer. That's it. Those are the only things I watch.
I love it.
Yeah, they
I
don't
love it.
have multiple colored jackets in golf. It's one jacket. It's green jacket. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
You
doubt.
don't get the rainbow of jackets for 15th place.
And there's just, it's hard to find good competition nowadays because everybody's a robot. These analytics that's involved. It's just, I don't think, let these guys learn on their own. I mean, learn, if you can't get a guy out, learn how to get him out.
Yeah.
It's what you
Good
do.
point.
And then, but now today they don't care. That's the toughest thing about sports is these analytics that they're implementing. And it's like, why? These kids don't even need to go. Just, draft them right out of high school. They don't need to go to college because you're already going to, they're going to give you the analytics, and you don't play the first year you sign. You go to a school for a year
Yeah.
and learn the analytics. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Things are different.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we're big Ohio State Buckeye fans in this house. Of course, being from Columbus, that's the way it is. But that's one of the reasons why we just love college football season, because the guys are there, they're trying, they're making the plays, they're putting it out there. And when you watch the NFL on Sundays, every time you see them, you go, man, they're just not going to play as hard. It just, oh, I got to make this bonus. Oh, I got to save my body for playoffs, whatever. I don't know. It makes me sad. I love college football for that reason.
I do. I'll watch college sports.
Yeah.
When I do, if I'm not doing something, I don't mind watching college sports, because it is a lot different. These guys are, trying to get drafted, trying to do what they need to do. But, when, they're hungry. And when you're already established, it's hard to get hungry unless, if the hungry ones are putting up numbers every year. So those are the guys that, care about the game and doing all that. But it just revolves. So it's different, once in a blue moon, I might catch it. Like the only time I watch baseball is when I'm in San Diego at my buddy Chuck's house. I stay there, and he's a big Padres fan. And so he'll have the games on. We'll have a martini, some caviar, and I'll watch it on TV. But, to me, I went to the Yankee game last week here in Tampa, and I was in the clubhouse just hanging out with the equipment manager and the traveling secretary. I didn't even watch the game. We were just hanging out, BSing, and that's just what it is. I mean, it's the greatest game in the world, don't get me wrong, but until things start changing a little bit, it's just, I've got other things to do.
Well, I tell you what, David, I remember, and I'm probably going to quote the year wrong, but so being from Ohio, I'm a big Cincinnati Reds fan, and I think were you there in '95? Yep. I remember watching. I remember, I'm thinking, I was a big Chris Sabo fan, and I was a Barry Larkin fan. And, I love the Reds. So, it was always fun to watch you play. And it's been a privilege to sit here and chat with you today. I want to thank you for your time and just sharing your thoughts today. Man, just hope everything goes well, and hope you're enjoying your time down there. When's the next big hunt?
Saturday I'm flying to Wyoming.
Yep.
I'm going to go there, do some mule deer hunting with some buddies. And, to me, it's that time you get the itch, because I'm a big bow hunter. So, I got to be home occasionally, but we're building the house right now. So my wife is busy doing that. So that's why I can get in and, get a couple hunts in, and, she's not mad. She's not going to miss me, because she's dead tired at the end of the day. So I would just frustrate her. So it's like you piss them off so you can go hunt. So that's one that we do. But so we got that. So September, then October, I go up to my ranch up in Michigan, and then in November, probably South Dakota, like doing bird hunting, doing all that. So yeah, I keep it busy. You got to do something. I like the cold weather. Fat people sweat, so. To me, it's you're in the cold weather, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, David, thank you I appreciate your time. I'm sorry, Toomey, what'd you have there?
Oh no, I'll be seeing you up in Traverse City in October. Hopefully, we'll make it happen this year. Last year, we were going to connect up at your ranch, but I think the hurricane stopped you from coming. Wasn't that? Yeah, that was last fall. I usually get up there first couple weeks.
I had my foundation. I had my charity event, my golf event.
Yeah.
And then two hurricanes hit a week apart. So we'll figure on that one.
Yeah, busy guy, and and hopefully this year, my daughter and I always go up in fall colors, leaf peeping, driving around, pumpkin spice lattes like all these Californians do. So
that just
3 days. All that sugar.
I'm joking.
Better than Bendel.
Hey, that pumpkin spice latte thing just hit yesterday. And my daughter, she's a sophomore in high school. She hit me hard yesterday morning. We had to go to Starbucks and get that thing, because that's the day.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's like the
And
Christmas trees at Costco right now. So
yeah, right,
no,
right. Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I'm gonna get on my dirt bike after this and ride to the top of that mountain. Speaking of sky, I don't know if you can see it. It's up by Yosemite National Park, and go just put my phone away, and I'm gonna go enjoy life and yeah, get away from the technology. So
Excellent.
yeah,
Well, very good.
Nice.
Well,
Nice.
again, David, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. We thank you for coming on and
Anytime.
just chatting with us for a few minutes. Best of luck with everything, and be well. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I
yeah.
appreciate it. Anytime. Like I said, I'm bored. You need somebody on, we can go to town.
Let's go.
Well, I went.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll catch up with you here after a couple of hunts, and we'll find out what you did.
Yeah, and then that way it won't be the Toomey story. It'll be our story.
that's
There you
it.
go.
Hey, don't
Appreciate
even
it.
have
All
me
right.
on here.
All right, see you
Yeah.
guys. Peace out.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
Well, very much. Thank you, David. We appreciate
got
it.
it.
You guys take care.
You got it, guys.
Later. All right.
Hey, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today for this episode of our podcast, The Spice Age. My name is Ian Thomas Hayes, and I am the co-host of the podcast, along with my good friend, Chef Matt Toomey, the creator of Toomey's Seasoning and the chef for Toomey's Restaurant in Mammoth, California. We're going to be bringing this podcast to you weekly, and we're very excited about all the different guests we have lined up and all the content we have for you. You can find this podcast at www.toomeyseasonings.com. You can also find the podcast at my website, www.ianthomashays.com, or anywhere else you listen to your regular podcasting. We want to thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much.